What's up, my brothers and my sisters from another mister? So today we're going to do a comic book review of Spawn issue number 10, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So we begin this issue where we left off in the last issue of Spawn issue number 9. When Spawn tries to examine Angela's abandoned lands, it transports him into a realm beyond his wildest imagination. So we start off with Spawn saying he is Spawn and he is not Spawn because he is Spawn for all that he shares his memories, and he remembers his death and the skeletal face which haunts him day and night. And he's talking about the Violator. He knows the burning gaze of the Violator and the stench of his hot breath. And he can still feel the ache of his heart being ripped from his chest. And then he goes back to saying, but I am not Spawn, for I know many things Spawn doesn't know. I know the names of the two detectives who pursue him. I know when and how they finally meet. I know why the little one is called Twitch. And they all have forgotten about themselves. It's a very trippy monologue between him knowing that he is Spawn and that he is not Spawn. And he is not Spawn because unlike Spawn, he knows every inch of the network of the alleyways which cut through the city like a scar that has never properly healed. And he knows the tower in hell where the Violator dwells. He knows every level of the tower and all who live there screaming. Every level except level 7. And what I noticed when I read this and reread this, that I am not Spawn, I think it should be read as him being Todd McFarlane, the creator, is identifying with his creation and switching places, as he is not Spawn because he can do whatever he pleases and it will not drain his powers. And I will explain more of that as we go into this issue. So when he goes into I am not Spawn, teleporting doesn't drain his powers as it does. It's like he's not even teleporting. It's as if he already exists everywhere in Spawn's world. He's everywhere and anywhere, and all he has to do is focus clearly on a specific location and he is there. Now he will know everything. And now he's in the alleyway, and it's not the alleyway that he's known of. There's a line of men. Their hands are bound behind them. They're hooded, helpless. I don't know them, but he feels a connection to them because without them, Spawn could not exist. The flames are forming and he wants to see, but he looks away. He can't look away, but he wants to know everything. But when he looks, he sees all these hands of all these heroes, champions, watchmen, avengers, defenders, men of steel, woman of tomorrow, god of thunder, Thor, creator, Batman, Hulk, all these heroes that are stuck in injustice. And the symbolism I love that they're showing here is that these Marvel and DC characters got bad endings because their creators sold them to big corporations. While Spawn, you're going to see the ending here. And there's a lot of symbolism here because there's justice and nobility with these characters, but they're trapped and they're screaming. Behind him are the hooded men. Beneath their hoods, they're weeping and crying for that injustice. And his power leads him something unimaginable. This unlimited power pounding at the bars of this prison because he is not Spawn. He is, I think it's Todd McFarlane saying that he's not Spawn, but he's Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn. Unimaginable power until the air itself as he unleashes his beam as heavy as a heart of a star to free those trapped heroes in the cage. Their hands retreat behind the bars, and after he does that blast, he can hear the voices in his head. Hundreds of voices, thousands of voices, tens of thousands of voices. They're all gone. They're nowhere to be seen. But they beg Spawn that the power that they have, Spawn should take it. Our power, Spawn, is yours. Take it. The heroes beg him to do it. And then a lone voice, a voice filled with hope and with great caring, strong and noble, the voice of he who came first. And I believe Superman was the first comic book superhero, if I'm not mistaken, from Action Comics. And I know there's a lot of you that know way more history about comic books than I do, but I believe that's what this reference is. And it's Superman. His planet exploded and he was sent to Earth as an infant. So this has got to be Superman. My powers is yours, Spawn. Take it. And in Spawn's mind, he winks at him and he flashes a broad smile. Beneath his mask, he smiles back and nods silently. So Spawn takes their powers and it flows into him, surging through every limb. His power, which he thought to be unlimited, is nothing compared to this. His arms are the earth and the stars and the planets and all the galaxies that ever were and will ever be. They swing forward easily, and all the power now concentrated in the tips of his fingers explode, and he strikes and it has no effect. And now here's the Violator, a woman's figure with the Violator's head blindfolded, holding a set of scales. And I love how the Violator told him, "You failed, buddy boy, you failed." But he's wearing a woman's dress with cash all around it, blindfolded. And because the heroes are symbolized being caged and the creators being bagged and bonded by corporations, because they really sold them to big corporations, so they really don't have that freedom. In here, the Violator is a symbol of the corporations making billions, and Superman, now alone in the prison, just looks depressing. And this is sad, and that's what the Violator is to me. A symbol of the corporations making billions off of these characters, and these characters are just caged up, not really having a chance for freedom, or creative freedom, I should say. So in this panel, Cerebus calls out Spawn, "Come on, man, let's go." But Spawn's like, "But I have to save him. I have to save those heroes." And Cerebus is like, "You can't. It's best not to think about it." Cerebus has been here for 15 years, and Cerebus knows, and Spawn asks him, "Well, who are they?" They're superheroes. Their creators are the ones who sold them. Like Cerebus said, it's best not to think about them. And that's who the men were with the tarps over their head, with their hands behind their backs. So Spawn's like, everything is gray, black and white and gray. And Spawn gets called. Now all of a sudden we get this panel of color. And Spawn's like, "Man, this is a beautiful house. What is it?" "It's your home." "It's my home," says Spawn. "Yeah, living room, fireplace, a bunch of bedrooms. Yeah, and it's a great view of the hood too, and a satellite dish. Your wife will be home soon. Her name's Wanda. But, you know, she's a high school teacher, a real looker. And you'll see. Oh, and you're going to love this." And Cerebus opens the door, and Spawn sees his daughter Wanda, and he goes into tears as Wanda calls out for her dada, dada. And Cerebus tells Spawn that her name is Cyan. And Spawn's like, "Man, that's a beautiful name," you know? So they have this moment. He hugs her, kisses her. Spawn's like, "Yo, man, can you stay? I've got a million questions." And turns out, long story short, Cerebus cannot stay, so he has to leave. And we end this issue with Spawn holding Cyan as he walks down the stairs, and he sees Wanda and is greeted by Wanda, and she tells him, "Honey, I'm home. Did you have a nice day?" "Yes, Wanda. Yes, I did. I had a bad dream and think about it, but you know, it's best not to think about it." And Cyan says, "Dad, dad, dad, dad." Now, I love the symbolism that Spawn has a house while these characters from Marvel and DC characters got bad endings because their creators sold them to corporations. And Spawn gets a good ending in this house in color because Todd McFarlane decided to keep the rights to Spawn. And I love how this issue was touched because it represents perfectly the relationship between the creator and the character. And I believe these characters are creatively strapped by these corporations, but that's just the way I take it. But with all that being said, what you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. Also, link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or other comic books and or some Rated Comics exclusives to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, Spawn, issue number 10. If you guys like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy, don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.